There's always a problem. Chef life. Hashtag. People don't like using that word.
There's a solution. What? Chef life?
No, hashtag. Like when you use it in real life.
Oh, people get annoyed.
Yeah. I kind of don't.
What do you mean, hashtag?
Yeah. It's like a social media bad joke.
It's a bad joke. I just don't know if they, like...
Like, let's just talk about, like, the chef shortage and, like, finding good chefs. Like...
It's like... Nobody wants to work hard anymore. Everybody wants to just be the executive chef. Nobody wants to start washing dishes.
That's why there's a that's why there's probably a real chef shortage. Everyone wants to be Drake. Nobody wants to be a backup.
Exactly. But remember, Tom Brady was a backup.
For a long time, actually. He got his schoolwork done.
If it wasn't for that backup, then the Patriots would have never won the Super Bowl that year.
It's true.
I always say, behind every chef is an even better sous chef.
And a good team behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
management.
really care about the other team. They come in and out. It's
no.
Line cooks come and go so fast. It's the people that are based on salary and the people that are helping create the dishes and they're there to support the chef that really make it.
So those are the people that build the restaurant.
But a good team also means that, you know, you show to work and all that stuff. And right now, a lot of the restaurants, if you're not popular enough, you're not getting, like, the kids right out of culinary school that might want to do that. Like, there's nobody... Like, I can't send somebody to a culinary school to pick out the good ones. You know what I mean? I'm not a recruiter, and I don't have a recruiter. Like, those big restaurants, they have recruiters.
Right.
That go into culinary schools and see the kids that are
But they
working
also own multiple restaurants, and they're kind of mini... They're corporations.
They're fucking... You know, they're Tim Love, they're...
Big big corporations.
Yeah,
in the fine food.
They're Mario Batali's, they're the...
But they also...
Gordon Ramsay's. They work really hard, and they're really passionate about what they do, but... You know, it's really...
It's hard for you to compete.
It's hard for the rest of the people to try to compete. I don't have to worry about that in Ithaca. What I have to worry about in Ithaca is the fact that I can't pay my line cooks $15 an hour. So other restaurants that have opened recently in town that have, like, culinary programs tied into them, well, they have the money to be able to pay their chefs a living wage, a better wage to survive here in town. And because the minimum wage is going up, it's going to drive prices of food through the roof because it's going to cost so much more to make it.
Are you going to see? Do you think a lot of restaurants are going to shut down because of that?
You're going to see a lot of probably across the board. There's some that will survive and be able to adapt, and people won't mind because the food's good. But there's going to be other restaurants where maybe they were surviving off of, you know, opening everything from a bag. It's like you're going to have to try to do things cheaper and cheaper, which is really hard to do with local food as it is because, as we spoke of before,
yeah,
it all ties into the fact that...
I mean, the restaurant has to order a certain amount even to get that price break.
Yeah, and it's just... A chef's life is a poor life. It's not a rich life. Even the chefs out there that own multiple restaurants, they're actually not worth that much in the grand scheme of things.
No, the equipment's a lot of money and everything.
The restaurants are a lot of money. Yeah, think about it.
Maintenance.
A great example is like the Vanderpumps. The Vanderpumps own, I think it's like 13 restaurants, or a part of it in a sense, or part of a restaurant group, and they're worth $65 million, which to you might be a lot, but to like somebody who's developing a web game, or think about the guys that created Instagram, they're worth, you know, how much do they sell Instagram for?
No clue right now, off the top of my head.
It had to be like over $1 billion.
No,
sure.
It doesn't really matter.
Fine, all right, Dr. Dre.
Dr.
Dre sold Beats for $2 billion.
But you're never going to sell your restaurant for $1 billion.
Exactly. So you'll always be stuck in that bracket. Like,
physical limitations.
Exactly. You're stuck in the physical limitation. We've talked about this before.
Right. So, well, I mean, we have, but we've never talked about it on camera or with anyone else.
No.
That's a problem when you have a restaurant. It also affects your price point because you want to be able to serve lots of people quickly.
Exactly.
But if they don't know to come, or you have bad weather and all these different things that affect you, it like changes the game. That's why chefs are very passionate behind the stove in the restaurant. If anyone really has worked in a kitchen, they know what I mean by that.
Yeah, we're popular because we're passionate. We're not popular because we have money.
Right.
There's two things that
You don't sign up for the gig because you want to be rich.
No, and if you are, then I'm going to tell you right now not to do it.
Right.
It's not worth it.
No.
If you're signing up because you want to learn how to cook food well and make sure that there's always food in your belly. I mean, you're talking about a pretty set gig. You're always going to have food.
I think you're richer in a different sense. You're like food rich. Always have the luxury of a meal.
You're like trenches rich. You're like in the fucking mud, and you're in the grit of it all, and you're looking at the guy to the left of you while people are screaming at you, and you're trying to fucking get it through. I mean, who really wants that? Who wants a job where you're getting yelled at all day from somebody who makes more money than you, but is trying to teach you a method? There's a military to it almost, and like nowadays kids don't want that. They're like there's got to be
a quicker, easier
job.
way.
Exactly. And,
well, I mean, that's why you see a lot of kids go from back of house to the front of house. They'll become servers. They become, because they see it's the money.
I mean, that even falls in line though with what people like Danny. What's his last name? Danny Myers. Is it Myers?
Yeah, Danny Myers.
Danny Myers started doing the thing where he was paying his waitresses like European countries pay their waitresses.
Well, I was actually
a flat wage.
Right, I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about tips on the phone.
Yeah.
Because I know that you like to tip minimum 10%, even on bad service, and I don't feel that way because when they make me tip, it's like, well, tip is a reward.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I reward you for extremely good service, which I do when it's amazing, because I have done the job myself.
Yeah, it's a fine line in the front of house, and I honestly have never worked as a waiter or a waitress. I was just a bartender, so I understand, like...
But you know what a good server does.
Like, dig money out of these people.
Yeah, but a good...
You work harder if you got paid that money already.